under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have a special meeting tonight. All council members are present. The special meeting was called as it came to my attention about a purchase for a truck today. I had the understanding that our decision was to table the purchase, and the Budget and Service Committee were gonna bring information on October 5th for council to decide about a purchase. So when I got that phone call today, I asked Carrie to call everyone, and everyone I think was reached except for a couple that were working or what have you. And there were some that were willing to go ahead and make that purchase, but I want to be very clear before I sign a check for $27,000 that it is an agreement, especially because you had made the motion to table it, and that Service Committee and Budget Committee had met and discussed things and bring those specifications back.
Budget committee's supposed to brought this back, got together, besides people were out doing this. It was brought back to the next council, they're not happy.
So Tracy, the budget committee met on Monday,
Last week.
and, yeah, so
I didn't mean.
you were on the budget committee, that's why you weren't here.
Hmm?
You
You
weren't,
what?
you weren't on the budget committee, that's why you
Where I
weren't,
was being
that's why you
knocked
weren't
out.
at the meeting.
Dwayne,
So-
you're on
so-
service. Rod,
But I thought we brought last meeting about me, Ralph, and Don going to look for a truck
That's
to bring
the
it back. That's the
Service
next council meeting.
yep, the Service Committee was to do some research
Right.
and combine efforts with the research and meeting from the budget, come together on October 5th with all that information.
Right.
Right.
And then bring all that information to council members to decide about a purchase. Not just make a purchase today, is what I was understanding.
So that's why we're all here, so we really didn't want to steal the service committee's joy in finding a truck, but a truck was found at a fairly reasonable price, so I don't know who wants to explain all that.
We want to go explain the budget meeting.
Go ahead.
Okay, with what we had budgeted this year, what's already budgeted for next year, for repair and replace was only a certain dollar amount, which the 30,000 that you guys had agreed upon, the 30,000 to not to go over, would have exceeded that. And because of that, we decided we were going to go to the bank to see about getting a 3-year one-time payment loan, which meant we would pay about almost $10,000 each year, this year, next year, and then again the final year, or pay it off early, if it doesn't matter, on the final year. Get that done, which the bank agreed to that 1-year payment, that way I wouldn't have to do a payment every month. And the budget committee decided that, that was the best route to take for our budget, so we wouldn't exceed. This way, cause next year we only have 20,000 budgeted for repair and replace, and if we're paying out 10, that would still leave us another 10, if we have to repair or replace anything, so under budget, that's why we decided to do the 3 payments. And go from there, I guess, Rod,
Me,
you and Ralph, right?
The Service Committee.
on budget.
So the Service Committee was supposed to bring some research for what specifications were needed to combine efforts with the Budget Committee to bring to council to decide on a purchase. Is that
Supposed to
what
be
you guys are
discussed.
understanding?
That's what's been discussed on the council meeting.
So my mistake, Rod, I looked at you and
No,
I
so,
didn't realize.
after the budget committee meeting last Monday, Tim and I, and Carrie was here, Shar and Dwayne didn't show up, but we sat and talked for half an hour about money. And we thought 30, Tim said 20, they were 20, so we talked about could we get a loan for 10 each year? And instead of buying a new one, right beside the truck that we bought, or would like to buy, was one $52,000. Time you take the state or whatever tax out of that, we're still gonna pay $40,000, so we were over budget. So, Dad seemed to think, I agreed with him, that we ought to buy a year-old one with 10,132 miles at $26,000 or $27,000. It is not a top-of-the-line truck. It is what we need, I believe we need. We don't need a fancy vehicle for our employees to ride around. It is a work truck. We don't need a truck with a plow to it, because we have 1 or 2 people plowing, and we have 2 trucks with plows. If we need any more to plow with, we have a John Deere tractor with a bucket, and we have a backhoe with a bucket on it. So there's 4 vehicles up there that could be used for snow removal, and having one with a 4-wheel drive and a snow blade, I thought was inappropriate, so we looked at a year-old vehicle. Under budget, I was thinking finance after talking to Tim and Kerry that a year-old vehicle that's like brand new with 10,000 miles was the way to go. And so we went and looked Saturday. Yes, we jumped the gun by whatever, but in the past, in previous mayor, when an opportunity would come within the budget, the mayor, the village administrator, and the village clerk would make the agreement and go ahead and buy that with the understanding that they were doing it what the village council wanted. And here we are, worried about this, and if we want to go back to follow the rules, this meeting was not posted 24 hours ahead of time, so we ought to table it again and go to the meeting until next week. Will that truck be there next week? Who knows? There were 2 in the country within 50 miles that we found that the village administrator liked. Now, if we don't like what the village administrator, we ought to fire him because we're overpaying him. We ought to get rid of Miss Ayers because we're overpaying her decision as council or financing. And here we are, she's here going to get paid overtime. Are we going to get
I
overtime?
don't get overtime.
Well,
I
or
just get
extra
straight
hours? Huh?
Yeah, I just get straight hours.
But you would get extra hours because this meeting is not officially scheduled. So my recommendation is that we go ahead and buy this vehicle on a 3-year plan, making 3 payments on it. That's in the
I'll call
budget.
you back on that meeting.
It's within our budget that,
I-
budget. So that's where I'm at.
I have some questions. I know the year, the make, the model, is it an 8-foot bed truck, is it a?
It's in your box. It's
Yeah,
got all the
I
breakdown.
just walked in, so I'm trying to.
It's all the
You should've got
breakdown.
it when you walked in.
I brought up the attention, to the fact that it wasn't posted and was told that it was an emergency.
It
My
is
theory- My theory is, what's the warranty on it?
the remaining of the factory warranty on it,
What's that?
whatever, and I don't know, 60,000.
No, good, sure. You're fine.
It didn't say, I didn't ask that question, I'm
I
sorry.
don't know if it says in here.
So,
But it's the remaining of the factory warranty. And our current pickup, forgive me for talking out loud and jumping in on people. Our current vehicle has 90,000 miles on it, or 90-some thousand. We hardly ever put 5,000 miles on a vehicle, so I think the longevity of this is gonna wear out before our warranties wore out, because they wait 60,000 miles or 6 years,
whichever
think-
comes first.
whichever comes first. So we have 5 more years of warranty on it that we will never exceed the mileage of 60,000 in the next 5 years. I just can't see it. My personal.
So I'm still not seeing in this if it's a 6-foot bed, 8-foot bed.
It's an 8-foot bed.
Okay. Who uses the truck and what's it used for?
It is used by anybody in the village on street department. It is used to do side jobs, to check culverts, anything and everything.
Paint streets, paint curbs.
to run to town for parts. It is a runabout truck
It's to haul your tools in.
to haul tools in. When they go to do a job, they have to have a truck, and if they're taking the backhoe, they gotta have a truck too.
Now, as far as being a village truck, does it need like the village seal, does it need?
That can be ordered and piece of
I
cake.
just ordered the ones for the.
Does it need like the amber lighting, does it need different things? Is it-
Our-
Yeah, and that, they always transfer that when they.
I just didn't know if that kind of stuff's gonna push us over the $30,000.
that's-
I think that our
$100.
staff up there, Rick Beck is excellent at that. He
Yeah.
can swap what we have and get stuff at a fairly reduced price or make what we have fit on this truck. He is very good at manufacturing and coming up with things.
Do we get quotes on, this probably won't be a big deal to buy or not buy a truck, but our insurance is probably gonna be higher on a new truck than it is a, whatever other truck it is now.
Well, it probably would be not much more difference, since it's pretty much the same style truck. We're gonna be selling the other one, getting rid of it, and we'll be also getting rid of the old, squad too, so, I don't see much difference in
Now,
insurance.
them going out for bids, they going out for bids, you're just gonna sell them?
Well, that, I don't know, that's up to you
We'll have to
guys.
discuss that. We're here to buy a
Yeah.
vehicle or not buy a vehicle. Because I want this meeting to go pretty quick, and for me, it ought to go quick, and I think that
So.
we ought to.
So basically, they came across this vehicle that's only got 10,000 miles, that is in our budget. The only one they found within the state, that's this price, this low mileage, and to hold it, Ralph had to put his own money down to hold it, but they will only hold it till tomorrow.
Yeah.
So, I had already called the bank to make sure everything could be done, and the only thing they needed was the minutes stating that you guys said yes, and a thing from the auditor saying that we can do it, and the auditors already got that, and is supposed to be sending that to me.
Is it four-door,
Two,
two-door, four-wheel drive?
two-wheel drive.
Two-wheel drive. Which the other one's a two-wheel drive as well.
That
Well,
is for
and-
two-wheel
Lot of money for a
drive.
two-wheel drive.
Regular cab is not worth it.
One of our workers did call me today and expressed his concerns. My main concern was that there was a motion to table it and for these committees to come together and bring the information along with the needs, specifications, and needs of the truck to council on October 5th. That is the only reason why I didn't sign the check today. I wanted the council to approve, as she said it needed to be in the minutes, and it wasn't. It was not, and it's not for me to say it's okay to go buy something.
So we have two gentlemen or council members saying that they think it's too much money.
I think it's too
will
much money.
relinquish my job to you and you to find another vehicle, a year old, 10,000 miles, by Monday.
I'm not saying
And
that.
I'm not
trying to hurt feelings, he's on the.
I'm not here to hurt feelings.
And I'm not
he-
trying to be hurt feelings, but you're saying to me that I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
And
I
Dad
didn't say
doesn't know,
that.
no, but you're saying it's too much money.
It is
I
too
have
much money.
looked at hundreds of vehicles.
So,
I respect your time and Mr. Martin's time, that you guys put this much time and effort into it. I
We-
respect that.
He's a Chevy man, I'm a Chevy man. We talked about Fords, we talked about Dodges, and they're $1,000 or $2,000 cheaper. But by looking at this truck, the original price of it was $34,000. And like I say, right beside it where I was parked, Dad took a picture of the other one, was $52,000 for a four-wheel drive, four-door.
I know. it's
That's
expensive.
way too much.
That's why I didn't buy a truck for myself yet, I know they're
It
expensive.
sounds like the budget committee has put in a lot of the work
Right,
and a lot of the time and a lot of the effort.
and
And the agreement was for budget and service committee to come together. So that's my only thing I'm gonna harp on.
Ralph is service.
But who else is on service that did not join that is the only thing that I'm saying. But I appreciate that and I respect that they took the time and effort. I already told him, and his own money,
so
I just wanted to be sure everyone's approving this before I go further.
And it's fine.
No,
All you have to do is call the gentleman, I can't even think of his salesman's name,
Chad.
Chad.
Chad,
So, what do we have now? Do we
Yo,
have a regular
Brett,
cab now, or a crew cab, or?
Have
Gilbert.
you been to the
Same
village
thing
building
as-
and checked any of our equipment out since you've been on council?
Nope.
My whole thing is, like I said before, is, Don had spoke up and said he wanted a 3/4 ton truck.
Yes.
I'm just saying it's because
Okay.
I'm confused. Because I mean, are we hauling anything in it besides?
He did say today that he wanted a 3/4 ton for the leaf blowing, vacuuming machine. And I told him I would express that concern to council.
I
So
don't
get-
have my phone, my phone's out there, would you like me to find an F-250 or 2,500 that are another $4,000 more than what we looked at this truck for? And like I say, if you don't think I'm good enough to pick out a decent vehicle, or my dad is,
We're not
so
saying
do I.
that. We're not saying that.
No, and that's what I'm saying, it's just,
No, Rod, stop that right now.
Oh,
Okay?
we just
Because
got
no
one.
one is saying that. So there's a disparity here from what we agreed upon at the last council, where the finance committee was gonna say we could spend this much money. And the service committee was gonna find that vehicle. And there was another group that was gonna say, this is what we need. So we've got one piece of that pie, and the other two pieces haven't commented yet. So that's why we're here today,
and it sounds.
because the other two pieces haven't commented yet. And so that's, you've gotta let those other two pieces have some comment
Correct.
here and not take offense at whatever they're saying.
So, I mean, what, cause I haven't been told what we need, I haven't been told anything until today. So my questions are, I mean, what do they haul the leaf blower with now?
it's just a little dinky trailer that it pulls behind the truck.
Manure
So-
spreader.
It's a, yeah,
So, right now currently, they
with
hook
the
it,
same as what you've got there.
right, the same type of truck.
Yes.
So they just took a trailer on it and they put a leaf blower. So we can do that with the new truck, just
Yes.
like we can with the old truck.
Exactly.
His want is to be able to just put it in the truck, and not have to have the trailer.
Rob, want to comment on that?
Let her finish and
He's
then
got-
I'll get in
They
on
got a
it.
3/4 ton truck now.
They have a 3/4 ton truck now.
No.
It is.
When he takes the manure spreader out to gather leaves, he used the 580 tractor or whatever it was.
Or
He used that
850.
tractor. If he's going, he can take the new tractor out, the 55,
That's right. He did use
which
the
is
same
twice as big or 3 times as big as the little one. I don't think he would have any problem
one. That's right.
picking up
I know he
leaves.
just used
You're right, I
the
understand
tractor.
that, yeah.
So.
But
Right.
you just said that he's gonna use it to pick up leaves.
I didn't say that.
Somebody did.
Well,
What
I
do
was
you mean?
asking because he had
Yeah, I didn't say that.
expressed that he wanted a bigger vehicle to be able to do that. So that's what I was asking. I was trying to get clarification on what he was.
If that little tractor can haul that thing around, surely a pickup would haul it around.
And I
That-
did ask him to come this evening, and he had a prior obligation, as did many of us.
So, then, of course, then my theory on that is then we don't need a bigger vehicle to haul this leaf blower if it's currently being hauled by a small tractor. Okay, so get that. So, you know, I'm in a little bit of disagreement with Nick and Tracy, only because I have price trucks for myself, as we have livestock, but I have price trucks for myself. I know how expensive they are. And I know that anytime you add anything, and I do have a background, not that anyone knows this, but I worked several years at the auto auction and for dealership, so I do have a background for vehicles. Anytime you add anything, you're going to add costs quickly, thousands of dollars. And so if we start looking into a bigger truck, you know, like he said, $4,000 or $5,000. But what do we need? Do we need that bigger truck? Because here, from what's before me, we're plowing snow, with the tractors, we're plowing snow with other things, so we're not gonna use it to plow snow. So we don't need a bigger engine, bigger size vehicle. We don't need four-wheel drive because we're only going to be using it for minor transportation things. To be able to haul some tools around, run to town and get parts. Those are not reasons that I feel is necessary to spend extra money to buy a bigger vehicle. Because I'm talking, he's not wrong with the cost going up very quickly. I'm not saying you can't find a cheaper vehicle somewhere that maybe has more miles or is a little older, but this one's still under warranty. There are some perks here. You know, I don't disagree with his choices, you know, looking over some of the basic things. But again, I don't have 100% of the facts, but it sounds like if we're just running for tools and running to the store and running around town, we don't need a big vehicle. We just need something basic and simple. It's just a work truck. And it's not a work truck that's being used as a workhorse, which is there's a difference. It's just being used to haul people and tools. Not plow snow, not haul anything major, just people and tools. So I disagree that we need a bigger vehicle. I'm not saying we can't find something cheaper. I'm not saying that's not possible, but as someone who has searched for vehicles, I think that's, I mean, the longer you search, you know, inflation's going up, used vehicles, cost more now than they used to. One of those reasons is people don't buy new as often. So we're in a market now where people hold onto their vehicles and they repair them.
Can we move on with this meeting and make the decision instead of talking all night?
Can I say one more thing?
Of course.
He can't use the pickup to pick up leaves, cause it needs a PTO drive.
Thanks, Rob. Thank you so much.
I don't have a problem with the truck, I don't have a problem with the purchase. My biggest thing was hearing from someone who's gonna use the truck every day to make sure that's exactly what they need. Cause that was talked about in the last meeting, what is the truck gonna be used for, who's using it, to make sure we didn't need this or didn't need that, or this is more suspicious, or this is sufficient. The prices, we're under 30,000, there's 10,000 miles, that's great, I think for longevity, less maintenance, I mean, all of it's great. The piece that I'm having a hard time with is making sure that's exactly what we need. We don't need any more, we don't need any less. And without hearing from someone who uses the truck on a daily basis, that's where I'm hung up at. And if somebody, I know this was a pretty quick decision on the meeting, but if we could all make it here, it would be nice to hear from someone who actually, you know, they want the truck, they requested the truck, and I haven't heard from anyone that's using the truck on what they need, and what it's used for.
Got the village administrator who's been with the village
Well, that's-
forever, who
yeah.
says what we need, so.
Yeah, I mean, and I do, and like his comment to Char was, I wanna be able to do the lease thing. Well, if that's not even possible, then why are we even putting that in the mix? If they're using it to haul tools and run errands, and that's what we've been using the other truck for. And I agree with you, but at the same time, if it was that important, he should have been here.
I did offer to both service department workers to come.
Rod, did you withdraw your motion?
Yes.
Yeah, I'd make a motion to make a decision on this October. Like the original plan was.
Say it again?
I make a motion, we decide on this on October 5th.
Well, this vehicle would be gone.
I don't. But what I'm saying is we don't have all the parts to the puzzle that we asked for. And we was going to get them October 5th to make a decision. I think that's the right way to make.
Mike, I'm just a clerk, but Ralph is the service department's boss, and you should be listening to his opinion, not the workers. He's the head of them.
Yeah.
If he's saying they don't need it,
Workers drive the truck.
And has anyone on the committee, I know Ralph was on the committee, but has anyone else on the committee done the research that they said they would do 2 weeks ago? So Ralph has done the work, and the budget committee has done the work.
Have you seen the truck and drove the truck?
Yes.
Nice truck.
Mhm.
What? So if we were to approve this, what time tomorrow would you be going over to finalize everything?
As soon as the bank's got everything.
As soon as the
But
bank
there's-
took care of,
We can't approve anything because he just made a motion to table it till October fifth,
But
so.
nobody seconded it.
I know, so I was saying,
I'm just,
if
I'm
there's a
just
second and a
question.
vote, then,
I was trying to get as many answers as I
okay,
can before
and then if there, whatever other motions or whatever needs to happen,
You had a question?
I would like to say that in a week, whoever needs to step up in a week, so we're ready to do this next week. Cause it's been 2 weeks, correct, that we had a council meeting, and this next meeting will be 3 weeks after. I've been to the village, building and talked to the gentleman 2 or 3 times since, in the past 2 weeks. So I'm putting it on my fellow council members to step up, do your part, whatever committee you're on, because Mr. Martin and I went for 3 or 4 hours Saturday looking. And I had a sheet of papers and trucks I wanted to look at. Nope. I'm a Chevy man, always have. The first one we looked at had front end damage, we wasn't even gonna look at. And I said, the next one is up at Mark Wahlberg, and we went and looked at it. And that's why we're here, because we thought it was a good vehicle. I think it's a good vehicle to present you. And I understand, and forgive me for being negative or tense, because I've done my duty with budget and service above and beyond. And I was teasing Dad to tell Carrie on Monday that I had 648 miles. I'll get paid for being ornery. And we were laughing about that, but I have stepped up and done my part. It sounds like everybody else, Tim, you've done your part. Everybody else hasn't done their part.
What part have we had?
Have you looked at vehicles?
Yes, I have.
Have you,
Yes, I have.
do you have that information for Monday?
Yes, I will.
Okay. So I second Dwayne's motion. We will do it on the October 5th. And I go for that.
Can we just, so the first part, the budget parts piece is done, right? So the next piece was the service committee getting together to decide on the truck, right?
Right.
There was actually, we were supposed to throw together,
I'm not saying it's a bad truck. I'm not-
with our employees, their requirements for the vehicle.
Right, that was
So
listed in the minutes.
Ralph, Don, and someone else was supposed to be on that committee, and we don't have anything.
So we have
Yeah,
one of the
because
three.
me, Ralph, and Dom was supposed to go look at the
Tracy.
truck.
I've never heard anything from you
The
guys.
service committee was
I
supposed
asked
to
you at
find
the last
a
meeting
truck.
when you want to go look, you said you're gonna be busy for the next couple of weeks.
No,
You
I
can
said,
order.
don't, I said, don't ask me to do it this week, I said, next week.
Okay.
So before
Week
Monday, we need two
of
more
the
pieces
meeting.
of the puzzle.
I said, don't
Just
give,
to-
I
just to
can't do it
clarify, so
that
we
week
don't-
of the
I
meeting.
understand, yeah.
I said,
I
do it
will-
next
I have
week.
connections
Yeah.
at
I never heard
October
anything.
because that's where I used to work.
Well, I didn't
have
either,
different
so.
names.
I've never heard anything.
I didn't hear anything from you, so.
I'll call and see if I
Is that
can
old
get
bad
it.
boy?
I mean, why should I have to call you and you can call
Why
me?
should I have to call you?
Why should I have to call
The
you?
old,
You know what I mean? It takes two.
I mean, you-
Yeah, it's BOV new officer.
Yeah.
No, it used to be.
so,
Long time.
Dwayne's right.
what are you saying about who you should call who?
That's
I'm
a-
not bullying.
What happened last
Yes,
meeting?
wow.
Jack Maxton.
Did we not, or not,
Was-
have the 3 people to look for this truck?
I asked, would you be willing to do the research? You said yes.
Me, Em, and Don.
And I actually
No,
called you.
you and Holly and Ralph, those are service committee,
And there was not. It was me, him, and Don.
service committee.
We did add Don to the service committee
Yes, we
for
did.
this. And I also, called you and let you know about another deal, Mr. Vanoy and Mr. John King have, communications about, he works at the government. So I called you and let you know if you had the specifications, we might have someone who could give us a good deal. So I don't know who's supposed to call who, but we need, at the last meeting, you guys made a time to meet as a budget.
We did.
I had a prior engagement, so I couldn't make it, but that's how it needs to happen. Holly, Ralph, Tracy, hey, I got Monday at 2, but we can't this Monday because we're supposed to come. But, you know, that's how it's supposed to happen, not debate who calls who. just someone step up and say, hey, what do you got going on Friday? What's your schedule look like? And work together is how the committees are supposed to work. That's my 2 cents. But it's not happening, so I don't know what to do about that.
So we had a motion to wait till Monday, we had a second, correct?
That's right. So we do vote.
So who's gonna bring the things back?
I vote yes
To, yeah.
for the
So we
motion,
have-
Glenn.
We have a motion on the floor and a second to, wait till Monday to decide on this. So, all for?
Any questions?
I make a motion, we adjourn, meeting's over.
Thank you.
Second.
Who
I'll
seconded it?
I'll second.
And I'll,
Oh, wait a minute, can I bring up one thing?
is it about this truck?
Yes, it is. Ralph put his $250 of his own money down to hold the truck. Should we reimburse him for that?
Can we talk to them tomorrow and see what their stance is on
Why
that?
couldn't we reimburse them?
I just wanted to make sure before I got a check.
I mean, is it,
It's
he, are,
$250, I think we can.
yeah, are you able to get it back yourself?
I'm gonna find out here in just about 5 minutes, as soon as I get it.
I would call him, see if you can get it back, or if, what the chances are to extend till Monday. I mean, we're only a few days off from
Yeah.
Monday.
Ask for an extension.
I don't know how long
and
it's
get
been
it
on the
back.
lot, I don't know any of those details, but I think it's reasonable to at least ask about if we can wait until Monday.
Did they say it was a non-refundable
Well, Ralph's already
deposit?
dealing with him. If you think you can, you might wanna.
I asked him, is this refundable, and he says, what did he say, Rod?
It goes on the purchase of the truck, it will be, so the village, the way I took it, the village will have to pay you. Right?
I would call and see if, what the extension date would be, or how long it's been on the lot.
Can I, who should do that?
Well,
Or you?
I agree, but I didn't start the process of that. The
Right,
service
but
provider.
you are.
I will take
questioning
care of it,
Okay.
Thanks, Rob.
Thank you.
since it's my money that's involved.
I can only hope you understand that I recall
Oh,
our
I
meeting.
understand,
Our
I've
meeting
stepped
was-
up in 2 weeks and I haven't heard anybody call me, talk to me.
And I respect that.
And
You
I've
took that
been
energy.
here with Tim and Carrie and Dad and I, and Dad says, you said, and he's talking, I says, here we are, Dad, let's go look. And so we did. And it sounds like, to me, is my opinion, so have a good day, I'll see you next Monday.